Hey folks, Sahira here. I have been teaching and performing with finger cymbals now for 2 decades. And if you've been here and you know me at all, you know that I'm kind of crazy about them. I'm here today to invite you to a brand new challenge that I'm getting ready to do in September called the Zill Challenge, a 10-day event designed to help you understand that you have all the raw material that it takes to confidently play and dance with your finger cymbals. This challenge includes 10 days of video tutorials via email, followed up by a daily Facebook Live session to interact with me and to ask questions. At the end of this challenge, you will not only have a fun and kind of funky new riff to play on your zills, but you will be moving to the beat too. And there are prizes. Of course, there are prizes. I brought my dear friends at Saroyan Mastercrafts on for this challenge. They are the makers of the most amazing finger cymbals on the planet, and they will be providing some incredible prizes for this event. I would love for you to join us. If you'd like to get a feel for what you're going to be learning, stick around. I'm going to do a quick Zill tutorial right after this. But to join for the challenge, please visit thezillchallenge.com and sign up there. You'll get everything that you need to get ready. The challenge officially begins on September 7th. I cannot wait to see you there. So let's talk about using multiple sounds when we play with our finger cymbals. Of course, these are an instrument and they have a variety of tonal qualities and sounds that they can play. And so I find that it's very important to really utilize them to our fullest extent, or else we're missing out on some of the creative input that we could have in our finger cymbal process. So today I'd like to take you through a little exercise to play with how different sounds within our finger cymbals affect the way that we dance. We're going to be using 3 different sounds. Our basic sound, which is the one most people are introduced to first. This is the finger cymbal coming down pretty evenly, but not quite totally flat on the other finger cymbal, middle finger to thumb, and then opening up to create a nice ring. This is called the basic. Try it on the other hand. Make sure you do both hands. And if you alternate hand to hand. We're also going to be playing with the clack. The clack is a similar shape in the hand, but you're going to go ahead and muffle that top zill by bringing your fingers down on it. And this time when you strike one zill on top of the other, it can be totally flat and you're going to keep it closed so that there's no ring at all. Other hand. Excellent. Let's alternate. Excellent. Let's do one more sound. Let's look at the ring. This ring is going to be a really light and delicate ring only with no hard attack at the beginning. We want to make it gentle and soft and very angelic. I tend to like to do this with my zills at a bit of an angle, like a perpendicular angle, one from the other, because then I can hit rim to rim. So it has that ringing sound that the basic does, but it has a much softer attack. Yeah, let's try the other hand. Good, keep it nice and light and gentle. Make sure you're not muffling the finger cymbal with your fingers on the top part of the cymbal. Yeah, alternating hands. Excellent. We're going to play a short little riff, a short little pattern on the zills, highlighting how using the zills and allowing the sound of the zills to interact with your dancing can make things so much more interesting and so much more creative for you. Whether you're doing this a cappella without music or dancing with music, I often use my zills as an accompaniment to the instruments that are playing either in the band or on the, iPod, so that I am woven into the fabric of the music, but I also give it a little extra texture, which gives me extra stuff to dance to, which is really a lot of fun. So we're going to do a very simple pattern. We're going to start with 16th notes, 1 E and a 2. And then from there, we're just going to do 3 and 4, 3 short 1/8 notes that are going to be our accent that we're going to play with different sounds. The 1 E and a 2, those 16th notes, are going to be the basic. 1 E and a 2. 1 E and a 2. Alternate hands. Good. while you're doing this, be sure that the upper fingers are not on the finger cymbal so that you don't muffle it at all, but also be careful that they're not like pointing straight up to the ceiling, which causes tension in your hand and makes you go a little bit slower. The 3 and 4, we're going to change between our clack and 4 and our ring, 3 and 4, and play with how that different sound, that different texture is going to allow us to accentuate movements in a slightly different way. So the whole pattern is going to be 1 E and a 2, 3 and 4, and we'll repeat that 4 times. The first time we do it, the first 4 times we do it, we're going to go ahead and use those clacks as our 3 and 4. The second 4 times we do it, we're going to use the rings as our 3 and 4. The 1 E and a 2 is always going to be the basic. So this is what it's going to sound like if we do all 8 repetitions. So play with me, 6, 7, 8. Clap. Again. Now with rings, so you hear the difference? That clack, 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 ring, ring, ring has a different feel, right? So now what I'm going to invite you to do now is to dance with me. You can either follow what I do, or you can kind of make it up as you go along. We're going to alternate between those 2 variations over and over so that we can play. For now, with the 1 E and a 2, I'm just going to do some inner hip rolls to keep it nice and simple. So I'm thinking inner hip roll, vertical figure 8. I'm going to use my heels to push out of the ground to create this. So I'm thinking 1 E and a 2. With those clacks, what is it that your body wants to do, right? Those 3 heavy clacks, I'm going to want to do some heavier movements, maybe some lower body, some hip movements, perhaps like a drop, 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 or even a down, up, down, something kind of big and heavy to match those clacks. Or maybe I'm going to take the weight on one foot and do some big hip bumps that way, right? Or maybe you could take your entire body and accent with like a giant sort of African style shimmy, front, 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 thinking about kind of closing the body in, right? Something hard and heavy. I invite you to kind of play with it and see what you would like to do. Then when we switch to those ring, ring, rings, you're probably not going to want to do bing, boom, boom, because the rings are so gentle, they're so angelic, they're so light, right? So I invite you to think about what are some light and gentle movements you could do. Maybe you do soft little shoulder shimmies, maybe tiny little head movements. I find because that ring has so much reverb going on, it's so long, it almost doesn't even feel like it needs to be an accent. You can think about it as being 3 and 4. So I'm doing an undulation, which really has no accent, but it's sort of nice on top of those rings because the rings are so sonorous, right? So this is what we're going to play with right now, is allowing what we're playing on our zills to affect the way that we're dancing so that it's kind of a communication between musician and dancer, as it were, even though you're all the same person, right? But sometimes I find we don't communicate as well as we'd like. So let's pay attention to what's going on in the finger cymbals so that we can incorporate that in our dance. Yeah? So let's go ahead and play that 1 E and a 2, 3 and 4. First 4 times with the clack, second 4 times with the ring, and see where it takes us. 6, 7, 8. Now the ring. Do it again with the clap. Rings. Last one. Nice work. I want to hear from you. What did you use for your class? Did you find a movement that really worked, that you found really looked good with the sound your zills were making? And how about the rings? What did you do with that? Did you find an accent was best, or was something sort of smoother and more legato working for you? I'm super curious. Post and let me know. And then if you enjoyed that little exercise, you are going to love the Zill Challenge. 10 full days of email tutorials that come to you every morning. And then every afternoon, I'm on Facebook Live, hanging out with you, answering your questions, totally geeking out on the Zills and taking it to the next level. And at the end of those 10 days, you will have an increased confidence towards how you play these Zills, how you utilize them with your dance, and you will know that you have what it takes to dance with them confidently and creatively. So join me there at thezillchallenge.com, and I will see you soon.